As technology continues to advance, governments around the world have access to a range of powerful tools that can be used to monitor and collect information on their citizens. From surveillance cameras to social media monitoring, here are 10 technologies that governments use to spy on their citizens. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. In this video, we'll be talking about the top 10 technologies that the government uses to spy on citizens. But first, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Number 1. Surveillance cameras. Governments around the world use surveillance cameras to monitor public spaces and collect information on citizens. These cameras can be found in streets, parks, and transportation hubs, and can capture footage of individuals going about their daily lives. The data collected can be used for a variety of purposes, including identifying criminal activity, tracking the movements of individuals, and monitoring public events. In some cases, surveillance cameras are equipped with facial recognition technology, which allows governments to identify individuals in crowds or public spaces. This technology can be used to track the activities of individuals and monitor their movements. While surveillance cameras can be useful tools for law enforcement and public safety, there are concerns about privacy and civil liberties, as well as the potential for abuse by government officials. Number 2. Cell phone tracking. Cell phone tracking allows government agencies to obtain information such as a person's location, call history, and messaging activity, all without their knowledge or consent. This type of surveillance can be conducted through various methods such as accessing phone company records or by using tracking software that can be installed on a target's device. While governments claim that such measures are necessary for national security, the use of cell phone tracking has raised serious concerns about privacy violations and the potential abuse of power by those in authority. In recent years, several high-profile cases have highlighted the dangers of this type of surveillance, leading to increased public scrutiny and calls for greater transparency and oversight of government surveillance programs. Number 3. Social media monitoring. Governments have increasingly turned to social media monitoring as a tool for surveillance and spying on their citizens. Social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram provide a wealth of information that can be used to track individuals, monitor their activities, and even predict their behavior. Governments can use automated tools and algorithms to analyze social media posts and identify potential threats, such as individuals involved in criminal activity or those with extremist views. This type of surveillance can be carried out on a massive scale, with governments collecting vast amounts of data on millions of citizens. However, the use of social media monitoring has raised serious concerns about privacy violations and the potential for governments to abuse their power. Critics argue that such measures are a threat to free speech and democracy, as they can be used to silence political dissent and stifle civil liberties. As a result, there have been growing calls for greater transparency and accountability in government surveillance programs. Number 4. Drones. Drones can be equipped with a range of technologies, including high-definition cameras and thermal sensors, which allow them to gather information about people and their activities from a distance. This type of surveillance is particularly effective in areas that are difficult to access or where traditional methods of surveillance are not feasible. Governments can use drones to monitor crowds at public events, track the movements of individuals, and even collect data on people's private lives, such as their daily routines or the layout of their homes. Number 5. License plate readers. LPRs are cameras that can capture images of license plates and then use optical character recognition software to read and record the plate numbers. Governments can use this data to track the movements of individuals and vehicles, creating a database of people's travel patterns and habits. This type of surveillance is particularly effective in areas with heavy traffic, such as highways or city centers, where large amounts of data can be collected quickly and easily. Critics argue that such measures are a threat to civil liberties and can be used to target political dissidents or minority groups. Number 6. Facial recognition. Facial recognition systems use algorithms to analyze and identify people's faces in real time, allowing governments to track the movements of individuals and monitor their activities. This type of surveillance is particularly effective in crowded areas, such as airports or public events, where large amounts of data can be collected quickly and easily. Governments can use facial recognition to identify potential threats, such as criminals or suspected terrorists, or to track the activities of political dissidents or minority groups. Critics argue that such measures are a threat to civil liberties and can be used to target innocent individuals or violate their right to anonymity in public spaces. Number 7. Stingrays. Governments have used stingrays, also known as cell site simulators, as a tool for surveillance and spying on their citizens. Stingrays mimic cell phone towers, tricking cell phones in their vicinity to connect to them and enabling governments to intercept calls, messages, and other data transmitted through them. This type of surveillance can be carried out without the knowledge or consent of the target, and can capture data from all phones in the area, not just those belonging to specific individuals. Stingrays are particularly effective in densely populated areas or in situations where traditional forms of surveillance are not feasible. Number 8. GPS tracking. GPS technology can be used to track the movements of individuals and vehicles, creating a detailed record of their location history. Governments can use this data to monitor the activities of suspected criminals or to track the movements of political dissidents or minority groups. GPS tracking can also be used to enforce court orders, such as restraining orders or parole conditions. Critics argue that such measures are a threat to civil liberties and can be used to target innocent individuals or violate their right to privacy. Number 9. Data mining. Data mining is the process of extracting patterns and insights from large datasets, including those collected from social media, internet browsing history, and other sources. Governments can use this data to build profiles of individuals and to monitor their activities and behaviors. Data mining can also be used to identify potential threats, such as criminals or suspected terrorists. Number 10. Biometric scanning. Biometric scanning uses technologies such as facial recognition, fingerprinting, and iris scanning to identify individuals and track their movements. Governments can use this data to monitor the activities of suspected criminals, track the movements of political dissidents or minority groups, or enforce border control and immigration policies. And that concludes our list of the top 10 technologies that the government uses to spy on citizens. While these technologies can be useful for maintaining public safety, they also raise concerns about privacy and the potential for abuse. It's important for citizens to be aware of these technologies and their implications for personal privacy. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more informative content.